Hope you guys can hear me.
And there'll probably be
Hmm.
some feedback, so I figure
Yay.
which thing to close.
We are live on YouTube. Yay.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
welcome to Table Read Tuesdays and our reading of Casablanca or Casablanca, however you want to pronounce it. Sorry, I've got cats trying to come in. Um, and we're pardon me for a little bit late. We had to do some last minute recasting. So some of us today are rereading some of their lines for the absolute first time cold read. It should be interesting. All right. And we're going to start with some introductions. So we go around and we'll say our name, your pronouns, where you're located, and what normally we'd say what roles we are playing, but we just kind of sorted out. So you guys, I think we'll have to, if you have a major role, go ahead and say what those ones are. We're not going to cite all 50 some roles. And if people want to find you on social media or Facebook or wherever, you can go ahead and do a little shameless plug for your own self, and then we'll do our reading. So let's go ahead and start off with Vicky.
Good evening. Tonight I am reading Ilsa, that's the main character, and a variety of others. I won't go into them. My pronouns are her, she, and I'm in central Alberta. And you can find me on Facebook under Vicky Dykes, and I'm on Instagram. I'm Yoga Grandma 10.
Awesome. Thank you, Vicky. Danielle.
Hey everyone, my name is Danielle. I'm reading Victor Laszlo. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm in California as well. And you can find me on Instagram, D&B Enterprises, as well as pretty much everywhere else. I'm now streaming live from TikTok. And my gamer tag is DreamGirl2507, so you can find that across the board. It's my Xbox tag. And so I'm constantly streaming that game right now. And you can find me on IMBD and Facebook as well.
Awesome. Aubrey.
Hi, I'm Aubrey McCoy. I am from California. That's where I reside now, even. And my pronouns are whatever. You can call me whatever you like. I don't care. Uh, I'm. You can find me on Instagram under Luthien the Fair, or you can also look up my IMDb page under Aubrey McCoy. You can also look me up on Spotify for my album. Just put up Aubrey McCoy, Unexpected Journey, and you should find me. I'm there. Also, I'm on Facebook and everywhere else. And I have a YouTube channel too, called Kyber K Productions that I work under. I'm also on.
Awesome. And Jackson.
Hello, I'm Jackson Gray. I'm my first time and I'm doing the Sinjor Ferrari and Major Stressler. I don't know. Um,
That might be Strasser. I don't know. It's a girl's
Strasser.
name. Could be
Okay, thank
Strasser.
you. Um, I reside in Alberta. Uh, I'm really excited, and you can find me pretty much anywhere if my Jackson Gray, anywhere probably with it.
Mhm.
I'm on everything, of course. But yes.
All right.
Oh, and any pronouns, but
Yes. All right. My name's Kat Wilson. I'm in Gig Harbor, Washington. She, her pronouns. And tonight I'll be reading, let's see, the first part of Renault, and sharing that with Jackson, who's reading it in the middle of the show. And then also Ugarte and Sasha, and actions and descriptions in the latter half if we get to that point. So we'll probably take a break halfway through. And oh, you can find me on Facebook, Catherine Devaney de Foxfire Wilson, or you can often find me at Table. If I'm not here at Table Read Tuesdays, then you can find me at Two Households in Fair Corona, which is a Shakespeare reading group, which we read on Saturdays. So without much ado, we are going to get to our script and go ahead and start reading this wonderfully classic film. Let me go ahead and share my screen here and we'll get started. So share screen and we find our script. There it is. All right, and let's see, we probably need to make it a little larger. This is not the best terms of typewriter clarity here. So
Yeah, it's quite small.
it is quite small, and let's see if I thought I could make it bigger. Let's try that. Oops, how's that? Is that too large?
Oh, that's much better. I like that.
Okay. And let's see. Danielle will be starting us off with actions and descriptions, right?
Yes.
So, we'll go ahead with our title and our authors, the playwrights, screenwriters. Ugh. Go ahead, Danielle.
Titled Casablanca, screenplay by Julius J. Epstein and Philip G. Epstein and Howard Koch. Director is Michael Curtis, and the producer is Hall Wallace?
Probably. All right, 1942. Let's find the rest of it. Here we are. Can you see the whole script?
Yes.
Can't. All right, go ahead.
All right, fade in, long shot, revolving globe. As the globe revolves, it becomes animated. Long lines of people in miniature stream from all sections of Europe to converge upon one point on the tip of Africa. Over this animated scene comes a voice of a narrator. Refugees,
Yep.
streaming from all corners. Oh, is that you?
That's
That's
Aubrey.
supposed to be me. Yeah. Refugees streaming from all corners of Europe towards the freedom of the New World. All eyes turn towards Lisbon, the great embarkation point. But now everybody could get to Lisbon directly. So a refugee trail sprang up.
Dissolve 2. Animated map, which illustrates the trail as the narrator mentions the points.
Paris to Marseilles, across the Mediterranean to Iran, then by train or auto or foot across the rim of Africa to Casablanca in French Morocco.
Dissolve 2. Relief map of Casablanca, showing the ocean on one side and the desert on the other. The voice of the narrator comes over.
Here, the fortunate ones, through money or influence or luck, obtain exit visas and scurry to Lisbon, and from Lisbon to the Americas. But the others wait in Casablanca and wait and wait.
As the narrator's voice fades away, camera zooms to close shot, relief map of Casablanca, a street on the map. Dissolve 2, full shot, glass shot, old Moorish section of city, day. At first, only the turrets and rooftops are visible against a torrid sky. In the distance is a haze-enveloped sky. The camera pans down the facades of the Moorish buildings to a narrow, twisting street, crowded with the polyglot life of a native quarter. The intense desert sun holds the scene in a torpid tranquility. Activity is unhurried and sounds are muted. Suddenly, the screech of a siren shatters the calm. Veiled women run screaming for shelter. Street vendors, beggars, and urchins melt into doorways. A police car speeds into the shot and pulls up before an old-fashioned Moorish hotel. Flop house would be a better word for it. Cut to interior corridor of this decrepit hotel. Native French police officers run up the steps, crash into the doors of the various rooms, come out, dragging frightened refugees. Cut to close shot, door. As one police officer flings it open, the shadow of a man hanging by a rope from a chandelier is seen on the wall. The officer slams the door shut. Street corner. 2 other policemen have stopped a white civilian and are talking to him.
Maybe see your papers, please.
Continued.
I don't think I have them on me.
In that case, we'll have to ask you to come along.
It's just possible that I have. Yes, here they are.
He brings out his papers. The second policeman examines them. These papers expired 3 weeks ago. You'll have to. Suddenly, the civilian breaks away, starts to run wildly down the street. The camera trucks with him. From off scene, we hear the policeman shout, "Halt." But the civilian keeps going. A shot rings out. The man falls. The camera pans to a medium close shot. Jan and Anina Brandel are huddled in a doorway, the dazed and frightened spectators to this casual tragedy. They're an Austrian couple, very young and attractive, thrust by circumstances from a simple country life into an unfamiliar, hectic world. Anina's hand clutches her husband's arm as their eyes follow the police who are examining the victim. Cut to Jan and Anina. They both speak with a Central European accent. At this moment, the police car sweeps past them on its way back. Jan takes his wife by the hand.
The prefecture must be this way.
They start off in the direction taken by the police car. An inscription, Liberté Egalito Fraternite. Carved in a marble block along the roofline of a building, the camera pans down the facade, French in architecture, to the high vaulted entrance over which is inscribed Palace de Justice. Camera continues to pan down to the entrance. A queue of people of all ages and nationalities overflow from inside the building and down the steps. The camera pans over the line of waiting people extending into the square. We pick up a babble of languages with only a few recognizable words such as visa, Monsieur le Prefect, Portugal, 100 francs, etc. Suddenly, the attention of the people is attracted toward the street. The square, from the angle of the waiting line. The square is typically French in its landscaping and architecture. This is the center of the modern city of Casablanca. The police car is just pulling up to the curb in front of the prefecture. A policeman opens the grated door at the back of the car and a nondescript assortment of refugees begin to pour out. Sidewalk cafe on one side of the square. A middle-aged English couple are standing in front of their table for a better view of the commotion in front of the prefecture. A dark-visaged European smoking a cigarette leans against a lamppost a short distance away. He is watching the English couple more closely than the scene on the street.
What on earth's going on there? Oh, pardon, madam, have you not heard? No, we heard very little, and we understand even less. Two German couriers were found murdered in the desert. The unoccupied desert.
Interior front of the Palace de Justice, from the angle of the cafe, as the refugees are unloaded from the police car.
This is the customary roundup of refugees, liberals, and of course, a beautiful young girl for Monsieur Renaud, the perfect prefect of police.
The sidewalk cafe.
I don't understand. As usual, the refugees and the liberals will be released in a few hours. The girl will be released later. Why, a woman isn't safe in this wretched place. To get out of Casablanca, they say one needs $2 for an exit, visa, and 200 for the prefect. Unless, of course, one is a beautiful young girl. The rich and the beautiful sail to Lisbon. The poor are always with us. Oh, dreadful! Unfortunately, along with these unhappy refugees, the scum of Europe has gravitated to Casablanca. Some of them have been waiting years for a visa. Oh, monsieur, I beg of you, watch yourself. Take care. Be on guard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, not at all. Bonjour, madame. Bonjour, monsieur.
He walks out of the shot. The Englishman, still a trifle disconcerted by the European's action, looks after him, mopping his brow with his pocket handkerchief.
Friendly chap. Wouldn't be. Wasn't be.
As he pats his breast pocket, there is something lacking. He opens his coat, feels inside.
Silly of me.
What, dear?
Leaving my wallet in the hotel room?
He closes his coat. Then suddenly he looks off in the direction of the departing dark European. the clouds of suspicion gathering. But now, overhead, the drone of a low-flying airplane is heard. Heads look up. Airplane flying overhead. Its motor cut for a landing. Plane, showing the swastika on its tail. Trucking shot along the waiting line of refugees outside the Palace de Justice. Their upturned gaze follows the flight of the plane. In their faces is revealed one hope they all have in common, and the plane is the symbol of that hope. The camera stops at the last of the line far out of the street, just as Jan and Anina appear and take their places at the very end. Their eyes also follow the droning plane.
But perhaps tomorrow we shall be on the plane.
Jan smiles at his wife with superior knowledge. Dissolved tube. Airport. The plane is swooping down past a neon sign on a building on the edge of the airport. The sign reads, Rix. Group shot. Captain Louis Renault, a French officer appointed by Vichy as prefect of police in Casablanca, stands chatting with other officers. He is a handsome, middle-aged Frenchman, debonair and gay, but withal a shrewd and alert official. Around him are clustered the German consul, Herr Heinz, a young Italian officer, Captain Tonelli, and Renault's aide, Lieutenant Cassel. Behind them is a detail of French native soldiers. The officers watch the approaching plane as it taxis toward them. The German and Italian detach themselves from the group and walk toward the place where the plane will stop. The German walks briskly a step ahead of the Italian, who appears to be making an effort to catch up. The plane, with the swastika over the door. When the door is open, the first passenger to step out is a large German man wearing heavy, horn-rimmed spectacles. He is bland-faced, with a perpetual smile that seems more the result of a frozen face muscle than a cheerful disposition. On any occasion, when Major Strasser is crossed, the smile melts and the expression hardens into iron. Herr Heinz steps up to him with upraised arm.
Heil Hitler.
Heil Hitler.
They shake hands.
It is good to see you again, Major Strasser.
Thank you, thank you.
Strasser turns to greet Renault and Cassel, who have come into the shot. Herr Heinz makes the introduction.
May I present Captain Renault, Police Prefect of Casablanca, Major Strasser.
The two shake hands.
Unoccupied France welcomes you to Casablanca.
Thank you, Captain. It is very good to be here. Captain Tor, of the Italian staff, at your service. That is kind of you. Our staff is anxious to cooperate.
Major, may I present my aide, Lieutenant Kessel.
Cassel does not offer to shake hands. They merely salute and bow. Renault leads Strasser toward the edge of the airfield, where their cars await them. Heinz and Cassel follow, with the Italian captain left to bring up the rear. Trucking shot, Renault and Strasser walking toward the cars.
You may find the climate of Casablanca a trifle warm, Major.
Oh, we Germans must get used to all climates, from Russia to the Sahara. But perhaps you are not referring to the weather.
Oh, what else, my dear Major?
But by the way, the murder of the coroner?
Couriers.
What has been done?
Realizing the importance of the case, my men are rounding up twice the usual number of suspects.
Again, Strasser looks at him sharply.
Captain Renault means the roundup is a blind. We already know who the murderer is.
Good. Is he in custody?
There is no hurry. Tonight he will come to Rix. Everybody comes to Rix.
Heinz shrugs to indicate that he can do nothing with Renault.
I've already heard about this cafe. And also about Monsieur Rick himself.
As they arrive at the car, dissolve to, omitted, electric sign, Rick's, night. Camera pans down to, intrudes to Rick's. Rick's car drives up. People in BG enter cafe through the revolving door. From the cafe, we hear sounds of music and laughter. Cut to, interior Rick's boom shop. An expensive and chic nightclub which definitely possesses an air of sophistication and intrigue. The camera pans around the room, soaking in the atmosphere. A four-piece orchestra is playing. The piano is a small salmon-colored instrument on wheels. There is a Negro on the stool. He is dressed in bright blue slacks and sports shirt. He is playing and singing. About him there is a hum of voices, chatter, and laughter. The occupants of the room are varied. There are Europeans in their dinner
Right.
jackets, their women beautifully begowned and bejeweled. There are Moroccans in silk robes, Turks wearing foulars, Levantines, naval officers, members of the Foreign Legion, distinguished by their coat biss. Across the room, stretching the entire length of the wall, is a tremendous, resplendent bar. Camera holds on Sam singing, with orchestra in background, then pans to close-up of customers.
Waiting, I'll never get out of here. I'll die in Casablanca.
Camera pans to weeping woman.
I can't stand it.
Oh, there.
Continued. Camera pans and holds on Sam as he finishes the number. Close up, a woman in a Moor, a very well-dressed woman talking to a Moor. She has a bracelet on her wrist, no other jewelry.
Can't you make it just a little more, please?
I'm sorry, madame, but diamonds are a joke on the market. Everybody sells diamonds. There are diamonds everywhere. 2,400.
All right.
The Moor hands her the money. She gives him her bracelet. Two conspirators are talking.
The truck is waiting. The men are waiting.
Two men are sitting at a table.
It's the fishing smack Santiago. It leaves at 1 o'clock tomorrow night. Here from the end of La Medina, the third boat.
Thank you. Thank you.
And bring the 15,000 francs in cash. Remember, in cash.
The camera dollies to the bar. As the camera passes the various tables, we hear a babble of foreign tongues. Here and there, we catch a scattered phrase or sentence in English. Now we are at the bar. Cut to medium shot, Russian bartender, a huge, jovial-looking person. He wears a silk smock. He hands a drink to a customer with the Russian equivalent of bottoms up. Then he calls out to a passing waiter.
Carl.
The waiter stops, turns, walks to the bar. He is a small, mild-mannered man with spectacles. Sasha places several drinks on a tray and shrugs Carl about delivering them. Carl, tray in hand, walking up to a private door over which a burly man stands guard.
Open up, Drew.
Yes, Professor.
Carl goes in. Cut to, long shot, interior gambling room. As Carl comes in, the camera takes in the activity at the various tables, then, cut to, medium shot, at table. A woman hands a check to the dealer. He, in turn, turns around and hands it on to a overseer, who looks at the check, then at the woman.
Just 1 minute, please.
He walks towards the table. Cut to, close shot, a man's hand, holding a drink. We see the overseer's body come into the scene. His hand places a check on the table. The other man's hand picks up the check. Obviously, the man is studying the check. Then his hand comes into the scene, and on the back of the check, in pencil, it writes, "Okay, Rick." The overseer's hand takes the check as camera pulls back to medium shot, Rick. Sitting at the table alone, he just sits staring at the drink. There's no expression in his eyes. He's a complete deadpan. Rick is an American of indeterminate age. Cut to, table, two women and a man. The women are glancing off scene at Rick's table, fascinated. Carl is in the scene, preparing Turkish coffee.
Would you ask Rick if he'll have a drink with us?
Madame, he never drinks with customers. Never unless he's invited them to his table.
Aubrey.
Sorry about that. What makes saloon keepers so snobbish?
Perhaps if you told him I ran the second largest banking house in Amsterdam.
Continue.
That wouldn't impress Rick. The leading banker in Amsterdam is now the pansy chef in our kitchen, and his father is the bellboy.
He takes the bill from the man's hand and walks away. Camera pans with him, disclosing medium shot, Rick. Alternate scene, number shot and credited, 38. He is glancing towards the open door and indicating that the person seeking admittance is not to be let in. There's a commotion at the door. A voice with a German accent is heard shouting.
Of all the nerve, who do you think
Rick gets up and with no change of expression walks across the floor to the door, camera checking with him. Cut to exterior door, a red-faced German, alternate scene, number is shot and credited 39, is protesting to Abdul.
I know there's gambling in there. There's no secret. You dare not keep me out of here.
Rick enters shot.
Yes? What's the trouble?
This gentleman.
Cut to medium shot, Rick in German, alternate scene number as shot and credited 41.
I've been in every gambling room between Honolulu and Berlin, and if you think I'm going to be kept out of a saloon like this, you're very much mistaken.
Entrance to Rick's, alternate scene number as shot and credited 40. As Ugarte comes in, he is a small, thin man with a nervous air. If he were an American, he would look like a tout. He looks interestedly in the direction of Rick and the German.
Excuse me, please. Hello, Rick.
Rick just looks at the German calmly, takes the card out of the German's hand.
Cash is good at the bar.
What? Do you know who I am?
I do. You're lucky the bar is open to you.
This is outrageous. I shall report it to the Angriff.
He turns away from the sputtering German, catches the Negro's eye at the piano. The Negro, who, while still playing, has been watching the byplay, winks at Rick. Rick acknowledges the wink with some friendly gesture. It isn't quite a smile, but it is probably the closest thing to a smile that Rick can manage. Anyway, it establishes the fact that as far as Rick is concerned, the Negro is a privileged person. Rick goes back into the bar. Cut to medium shot, at table, in gambling room, alternate scene number as shot and credited, 42. As Rick comes into the scene, a moment later, Ugarte follows him into the scene. There is nobody near them.
You know, Rick, watching you just now with the douche bank, one would think you had been doing this all your life.
What makes you think I haven't?
Nothing. When you first came to Casablanca, I thought,
You thought what?
what right have I to think? Too bad about them German couriers, wasn't it?
They got a break. Yesterday they were just two German clerks. Today they're the honored dead.
You will forgive me for saying this, Monsieur Rick, but you are a very cynical person.
I forgive you.
Bartender, alternate scene number as shot and credited, 43. Coming into scene with 2 drinks, which he sets before the men.
Thank you. Would you have a drink with me, please?
No.
You despise me, don't you?
If I gave you any thought, I probably would.
You object to the kind of business I do. But I think of the poor refugees who must rot in this place if I did not help them. Is it so bad that, through ways of my own, I provide them with exit visas?
For a price, Survey. For a price.
But think of those poor devils who cannot meet Renault's price. I get it for them for half. Is that so parasitic?
I don't mind a parasite. I object to the cut rate one.
Well, after tonight, I am through with the whole business. Rick, I am leaving Casablanca.
Who did you bribe for your visa? Renault or yourself?
Myself. I found myself much more reasonable. Do you know what this is? Something that not even you have ever seen. Letters of transit signed by Kashmir when wagoned. They cannot be rescinded, not even questioned.
Rick looks at him, then holds out his hand for the envelope.
One moment. Tonight, I will sell these for more money than even I ever dreamed of. And then, farewell, Casablanca. Rick, I have many friends in Casablanca, but because you despise me, you're the only one I trust. You keep these letters for me.
For how long?
Perhaps an hour, perhaps longer.
I don't want them there overnight. Here
Oh.
overnight.
Don't be afraid of that. Please keep them for me. Thank you. I know I could trust you.
Cut to medium shot, waiter, alternate scene number as shot and credited 44, coming into the scene.
Oh, waiter. I am expecting some people. If anyone asks for me, I will be here.
The waiter nods, leaves. Ugarte turns to Rick.
Rick, I hope you are more impressed with me. If you'll forgive me, I will share my good luck with your roulette wheel.
Wait a
He
minute.
starts across the floor.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
Ugarte stops. Rick comes up to him. Close shot, Rick and Ugarte. Alternate scene number as shot and credited 45. Rick's voice is barely audible.
I heard a rumor that those German carriers were carrying letters of transit.
Ugarte doesn't reply for a moment.
Yes, I heard that rumor too. Poor devils.
Rick looks at Ugarte steadily.
You're right, Ugarte. I'm a little more impressed with you.
Ugarte smiles and almost swaggers toward the gambling table. Rick starts for the door. Medium shot cafe. Sam is playing and singing the Knockwood number, accompanied by the orchestra. The cafe is in semi-darkness. The spotlight is on Sam, and every time the orchestra comes in on the Knockwood business, the spotlight swings over to the orchestra. Medium shot, Rick. As he makes his way from the gambling room to Sam on the floor. Cut to medium close shot at piano. Rick comes into shot, and during one of the periods when the spotlight is on the orchestra, Rick slips the letters of transit into the piano, then exits towards the bar. Cut to medium shot at bar. Rick comes in and watches Sam and his number. Cut to close shot at small table. Ferrari. He sees Rick at bar, exits in his direction. Cut to medium shot at bar. Rick. Ferrari comes into shot.
Hello, Rick.
Hello, Ferrari. How's business at the Blue Parrot?
Fine, but I would like to buy your cafe.
It's not for sale.
You haven't heard my offer.
It's not for sale at any price.
Ferrari sighs.
What do you want for Sam?
Continue.
I don't buy or sell human beings.
That's too bad. That Casablanca's leading comedy. In refugees alone, we can make a fortune if you would work with me through the black market.
Suppose you let me run my business and I let you run yours.
Suppose we talk about Sam. We ask Sam. Maybe he'd like to make a change.
Suppose we do.
Negro at piano. He has just finished his number. Rick and Ferrari come up to him.
Sam, Ferrari wants you to work for him at the Blue Parrot.
Oh, I like it fine here.
He'll double what I pay you.
No, I ain't got time to spend what I makes here.
Sorry, Ferrari.
Rick looks at Ferrari, smiles, shakes his head, then he winks at Sam. Ferrari exits. Cut to medium shot at Long Bar and Cafe proper, Yvonne, sitting on a stool, drinking brandy. Sacha, who continued, is looking at her with lovesick eyes, is filling her tumbler.
The boss's private stock. Because, Yvonne, I love you.
Oh, shut up.
For you, Yvonne, I shut up.
Rick saunters into the scene, leans against the bar next to Yvonne, but he pays no attention to her. She looks at him bitterly without saying a word.
Oh, Monsieur Rick, some Germans, boom, 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 gave this check. Is it all right?
Rick looks check over. Cut to medium shot. Sam is in the midst of a number. Cut to medium shot. Rick and Yvonne. As only Sam is spotlighted at the piano, Rick and Yvonne stand in the gloom. Yvonne, who has never taken her eyes off Rick, finally blurts out,
Where were you last night?
That's so long ago. I don't remember.
Will I see you tonight?
Continued.
We never planned that far ahead.
Yvonne turns, looks at Satya, extends her glass to him. As he is about to fill the glass, Rick turns, stops him with a gesture.
Give me another.
Sasha, she said enough.
Oh, don't listen to him. Sasha, fill it up.
Sasha hesitates, looks at Rick.
I love you, Yvonne, but he pays me.
Yvonne wheels on Rick with drunken fury.
Oh, Rick, I'm sick and tired of having you.
Sasha, call a cab.
Yes, boss.
Come on, we're going to get you your coat.
Take your hands off of me.
He pulls her along toward the hall door.
No, you're going home. You've had a little bit too much to drink.
46, street in front of Rick's, Satya stands at the curb signaling a cab. Finally, one pulls up. Exterior Rick's, shooting toward the entrance. Rick and Yvonne come out of the cafe. He's putting a coat over her shoulders. She is objecting violently.
Who do you think you are, pushing me around? Oh, what a fool I was to fall for a man like you.
You better go with her, Sasha, to be sure she gets home.
Yes, boss.
One on each arm, they help Yvonne in the cab. Satya follows her in.
Sasha, come right back.
Yes, boss.
The cab starts off. Trucking shot, Rick, as he walks back into the cafe. He lights a cigarette, hears Renault, and walks toward him.
Hello, Rick.
Hello, Louis.
How
Continue.
extravagant you are, throwing away women like that. Someday they may be very scarce.
A table on the cafe terrace. Renault is sipping some brandy. His eyes are amused. Rick walks into the shop.
You know, I think now I shall pay a call on Yvonne. Maybe get her on the rebound, eh?
When it comes to women, you're a true Democrat.
Renault laughs, pours Rick a drink. There's the sound of a plane warming up on the adjacent airfield. Rick looks in the direction of the sound. Renault follows his gaze. Medium shot, transport plane. The full glare of the floodlights, standing poised on the runway, its motors racing, ready for the takeoff. Cut to, medium shot, Rick and Renault. Rick is still looking steadfastly at the plane.
The plane to Lisbon. You would like to be on it?
Why? What's in Lisbon?
The clipper to America.
Rick doesn't answer, looks at the plane warming up, but his look isn't a happy one.
I have often speculated on why you do not return to America. Did you abscond with the church funds? Did you run off with the senator's wife? I should like to think you killed a man. It is the romantic in me.
It was a combination of all three.
And what in heaven's name brought you to Casablanca?
The plane's motors grow louder.
My health. I came to Casablanca for the waters.
Waters? What waters? You're in the desert.
I was misinformed.
Renault shakes his head, but can say nothing for the plane is speeding down the runway. Its lights shine on the faces of Rick and Renault. Rick cannot take his eyes from the plane. Now it leaves the ground and passes almost directly over them. He watches the plane until its lights disappear into the distance. Medium shot. A croupier, Emile, so identified by the green visor over his eyes, comes into the scene.
Excuse me, Monsieur Rick, but a gentleman inside has won 20,000 francs. The cashier would like some money.
Continue.
Well, I'll get it from the safe.
I am humiliated, Monsieur Rick. I do not understand how.
It's all right, Emil. And mistakes happen all the time mistakes like that happens all the time.
I'm awfully sorry.
Rick and Renault both rise and start.
Rick, there is going to be some excitement here tonight. We are going to make an arrest in your cafe.
What, again?
Cut to interior cafe as Rick and Renault come in, a meal following.
This is no ordinary arrest. A murder, no less.
Cut to close shot, Rick. As his eyes react, involuntarily they glance toward the gambling room. Cut to medium shot, Rick and Renault. They're starting for the steps alongside the bar.
If you are thinking of warning him, don't put yourself out. He cannot possibly escape.
I stick my neck out for nobody.
A wise foreign policy.
Renault starts upstairs after Rick.
Do you know, Rick, we could have made this arrest earlier in the evening at the Blue Parrot.
Rick enters a room on the landing. Cut to interior Rick's office as he comes in, followed by Renault and Emil.
But out of my high regard for you, we are staging it here. It will amuse your customers.
Our entertainment is enough.
Cut to medium shot at door to a small dark room off the office where the safe is kept. Rick goes in, starts to open the safe. Renault, drink in hand, leans against the door jamb.
Rick, we are about to have an important guest tonight. Major Strasser of the Third Reich, no less. We want him to be here when we make the arrest. A demonstration of the efficiency of my administration.
Continue.
I see. And what's Strasser doing here? He hasn't come all the way to Casablanca to witness a demonstration of your efficiency.
Perhaps not.
Here you are.
It shall not happen again, monsieur.
Louis, you have something on your mind. Why don't you spill it?
You are very observant. As a matter of fact, I wanted to give you a word of advice.
Yeah? Have a brandy.
Thank you, Rick. There are many exit visas sold in this cafe, but we know that you have never sold them. That is the reason we permit you to remain open.
I thought it was because we let you win at the roulette.
That is another reason. There is a man who has arrived in Casablanca on his way to America. He will offer a fortune to anyone who will furnish him with an exit visa.
Yeah? What's his name?
Victor Laszlo.
Victor Laszlo.
Continue.
Rick, this is the first time I have ever seen you so impressed.
Well, you succeeded in impressing half the world.
It is my duty to say that he does not impress the other. Rick, Laszlo must never reach America. He stays in Casablanca.
It'll be interesting to see how he manages
Manages what?
his escape.
But I just told you.
Stop it. He escaped from the concentration camp, and the Nazis have been chasing him all over Europe.
This is the end of the chase.
20,000 francs, as it ends.
Is that a serious offer?
I just paid out 20,000 francs. I'd like to get it back.
Then make it 10,000. I am only a poor, corrupt official. Done. And no matter how clever he is, he still needs an exit visa. Or I should say, two.
They start out of the room and down the steps, camera tracking with them.
Why two?
He's traveling with a lady.
You'll take one.
I think not. I have seen the lady. And if he did not leave her in Marseille or in Oran, he will not leave her in Casablanca.
Maybe it's not as romantic as you are.
It does not matter. There is no exit visa for him.
Louis, where did you get the idea I might be interested in helping Laszlo escape?
Because, my dear Ricky, I suspect that under that cynical shell you are at heart a sentimentalist. I laugh if you will, but I happen to be familiar with your record. Let me point out to you two items. You fought with the Ethiopians against Italy, and you risked your neck with the royalists in Spain.
And get well paid for it on both occasions.
If a winning side would have paid you much more.
Maybe. Apparently you are determined to keep Laszlo here.
I have my orders.
Oh, I see. Just Spados Bank.
Medium shot, Renault. They are down now. As he speaks, he faces the hue mirror over the bar.
You overestimate the influence of the Gestapo, Ricky. I do not interfere with them, and they do not interfere with me. In Casablanca, I am master of my fate. I am captain of my...
He stops short as his aide enters and speaks.
See, and that would be Jackson.
For who? Aid?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Major Stracer is here, sir.
Medium shot, Rick and Renault.
Yeah, you were saying?
Excusez-moi.
He hurries towards Chaucer. Rick smiles cynically and exits. Cafe, Renault is walking with Carl.
Carl, I see that Herr Strasser gets a good table. I see that Herr Strasser gets a good table. Close to the ladies.
I already have been the best, monsieur. Knowing he is German and would take it anyway.
Cafe, as they enter from the hall, Renault beckons to a native officer who is apparently waiting for the word. He approaches and salutes.
Take him quietly. 2 guards at every door.
Yes, sir. Everything is ready, sir.
He salutes and starts toward the door of the gambling room. The camera travels with Renault, who walks to a table on one side of the cafe where Strasser and Hines are seated. At the adjoining table are some German officers. Strasser beams as Renault approaches the table.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Captain.
Won't you join us? Thank you. It is a pleasure to have you here, Misha.
Ugh. Captainage. And a tin of caviar.
May I recommend Veuve Clicquot 26? A good French wine.
Thank you.
Very well, sir.
Another very interesting club.
Especially so this evening, Major. In just a minute, you will see the arrest of the man who murdered your couriers.
I expected no less, Captain.
Continue. Cut to close shot, Ugarte, alternate scene number as shot and credited 69. At the roulette table in the gambling room, piled in front of him is a huge stack of chips. He's having a run of luck, and his eyes are feverish as they follow the marble that is bouncing on the wheel. The marble stops on number 13. Exultantly, Ugarte reaches for the chips, which the croupier shoves on the table. But just then, another hand closes onto Ugarte's arm. A look of terror crosses his face.
You will come with me, Monsieur Ugarte.
Oh, allow me to cash my chips.
The native officer nods, follows Ugarte to the cashier. The cashier's booth, alternate scene number as shot and credited 70. The cashier pays Ugarte the amount of his chips. Ugarte thrusts the money in his inside coat pocket. As his hand comes out of the pocket, it grips a small revolver pointed at the native officer. The officer makes a jump for Ugarte and the gun goes off. The officer clasps his shoulder. A woman screams. People at the gambling tables duck for cover. Ugarte runs toward the hallway. Quick flashes. Rick, crossing the floor of the cafe, turns abruptly toward the door to the gambling room. A woman in a booth jumps to her feet, looks in the direction of the sound. Continued. A man at the bar is lifting his glass to drink. Abruptly, he puts the glass down. The music stops as Sam's hands hold on the piano keys. Carl, behind the bar, flashes an expectant look towards Strasser's booth. Renault, Strasser, and Hines all jump to their feet. Hallway between the rooms, alternate scene number as shot and credited 72. Ugarte rushes into the hallway as Rick appears from the opposite direction.
Rick, help me!
Don't be a fool. You can't get away.
Hide me! Do something! You must help me, Rick! Do
Shut up.
something!
Shut up.
Before he can finish, Renault, Schlosser, Hines, and others rush in from behind Rick. Other police officers appear from the gambling room. Grab Ugarte. Without a word, Rick pushes his way through the group to the cafe.
Excellent, Captain.
When they come to get me, Rick, I hope you'll be of more help.
I stick my neck out for nobody.
The cafe. Rick comes out on the floor. An air of tense expectancy pervades the room. A few customers are on the point of leaving. Rick speaks in a very calm voice.
I'm sorry there was a disturbance, folks, but it's all over. Everything's all right. Just sit down and have a good time. Enjoy yourself. All right, Sam.
At the piano, Sam nods and begins to play.
Okay, boss. Old Noah, what'd he do? Come on, folks. Old Noah, what'd he do?
He waits and plays the next phrase, full shot, taking in some response from the people.
Old Noah, what'd he do? That's right, he built a floating zoo.
Tables, the people, under Sam's spell again, join in and sing. The gloom is somewhat lifted. We pan over various tables, picking up all types of people during the course of the song. Strasser's table. The song is finished and the excitement has quieted down. Renault, Strasser, and Hines are now back at their table.
Oh, Rick.
Rick walks into the shop.
Rick, this is Major Heinrich Strasser of the Third Reich.
How do you do, Rick, Mr. Rick?
Oh, how do you do?
And you already know Herr Heinz of the Third Reich.
Rick nods to Strasser and Hines.
Please join us, Mr. Rick.
Rick sits down beside Hines, facing Renault and Strasser.
Rick, we are very honored tonight. Major Strasser is one of the reasons that the Reich enjoys the reputation it has today.
You repeat Third Reach, as though you expected there was to be others.
Well, personally, Major, I would take what comes.
The waiter appears with drinks, begins to open the bottles and pour during the ensuing conversation.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Unofficially, of course.
Make it official if you like.
What is your nationality?
Rick looks at him a moment before replying.
I'm a drunkard.
Strasser looks closely at him. Close shot, Renault.
That makes Rick easiest in the world.
Medium shot, Rick, Renault, and Strasser.
I was born in New York City, if that'll help you any.
I understand you come here from Paris at the time of the occupation.
That seems to be no secret.
Are you one of those people who can't imagine the Germans in their beloved Paris?
It's not particularly my beloved Paris.
Can you imagine us in London?
When you get there, ask me.
How about New York?
There are certain sections of New York, Major, that I would not advise you to try to invade.
Who do you think will win the war?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Rick is completely neutral about everything, and that takes in the field of women, too.
Strasser takes a little black book from his pocket, rifles through the pages.
You aren't always so carefully neutral. We have a complete dossier on you. Richard Blanche, American, age 37. Can't return to his country? The reason is a little vague. We also knew what you did in Paris. Also, Mr. Blanche, we know why you left Paris.
Rick reaches over, takes the book from Strasser's hand.
Don't worry. We are not going to broadcast it.
Are my eyes really brown?
You will forgive my you will forgive my courtesy, Mr. Bryan. The point is, I'm an enemy of the Reach has come to Casablanca, and we are checking on anyone who can possibly be of help to us.
My interest in Victor Laszlo's staying or going is only a sporting one.
Victor Lasso? Oh, in this case, you have no sympathy for the fox.
Not particularly. I understand the hound's point of view, too.
Victor Lasso published the foolest lies in the Plage newspaper until the very day we marched in. And even after that, he continued to print scandal sheets in a cellar.
Of course, one must admit he has great courage.
I admit he is very clever. The 3 times he slipped through our fingers. In Paris, he continues his advances. We intend not to let it happen again.
You'll excuse me, gentlemen. Your business is politics. Mine is running a saloon.
Good evening, Mr. Blancs.
Rick walks out of the shot toward the gambling room.
You see, you have nothing to worry about.
Perhaps.
Cut to medium shot at another table. The dark-appearing foreigner we had seen in the opening sequence is busily engaged with a middle-aged, prosperous-looking man.
I beseech you, my friend, be on guard. Take care. Use every precaution.
Sam, at piano. He is idling away at something sentimental. The people at the tables have resumed their chatter. As he plays, Sam glances casually around. Suddenly, as his eyes look toward the entrance, his playing falters, then stops altogether. Medium shot, the cafe, shooting toward the entrance. We see what Sam is staring at. A couple has just come in, and we recognize them as Victor Laszlo and his companion, whose face we saw in the car window, outside of. Continued Ugarte's hotel. She wears a simple white gown. Her beauty is such that people turn to stare. The head waiter comes up to them.
Oh, that's me. Yes, monsieur.
I reserved a table. Victor Laszlo. Close up, Burger, looking intently at Laszlo. Close shot, the woman, who has been looking around casually. When she sees Sam, her face registers a startled surprise for just an instant.
Yes, Monsieur Laszlo. Right this way.
Close shot, Sam. He sees her looking at him, turns his gaze away, resumes his piano playing. Chucking shot, Ruth. As the head waiter takes them to a table, although they pass right by the piano and the woman, who is later to be identified as Isla Lund. Lund?
Ilse.
Ilsa. Okay. Ilsa Lund looks directly at after she has seen, Sam steals a look in her direction. At Laszlo's table, the head waiter seats Ilsa, and goes out of shot. Laszlo takes the chair opposite. He surveys the room with a sweeping glance.
And at this point, I think we switch actions and descriptions to Jackson. And, yeah.
Great.
The head waiter. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you
Do I
can
read?
if you like.
Okay.
I
The
already
head
read
waiter.
it, but yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead. Sorry.
Yes, monsieur.
I see no one of Ugarte's description.
Victor, I feel somehow we shouldn't stay here.
If we would walk out so soon, it would only call attention to us. Perhaps Ugarte is in some other part of the cafe.
Excuse me, but you look like a couple who are on their way to America.
A small bald man, later identifies as Berger, walks into the scene.
Well,
The man reaches into his vest pocket, bringing out a ring with a large aquamarine stone.
You will find there is a market for this ring. I am forced to sell it at great sacrifice.
thank you, but I hardly think.
Then perhaps for the lady. The ring is quite unique.
He holds it down to their view, beginning to twist the stone, which is apparently screwed into the setting. Insert the ring in Berger's hand. The stone comes loose in his fingers. In the setting underneath, on the gold plate, is a faint impression of the Laureate Cross of General de Goulat.
Yes, I am very interested.
The table.
Good.
What is your name?
Burger. At your service, sir.
Victor,
Meet me in a few minutes at the bar. I do not think we want to buy the ring, but thank you for showing it to me.
Berger takes the cue. He sighs, putting the ring away.
Such a bargain. But if that is your decision,
I'm sorry, it is.
He bows and turns away. Camera pans. As he walks away, he brushes by the Captain Renault, who is approaching the table. He glances sharply at at Berger as he passes. Then Renault beams as the camera pans back with him to the table. Continued.
and did you want to take Renault in this scene or and actions and descriptions? Jackson?
What, sorry?
Or do you want me to keep reading Renault, or would you like to take it and the actions and
I-
descriptions?
I think you should keep Renault. I like your Renault.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, I like hearing your Renault.
Oh,
I
okay.
think you do the accent.
Monsieur Laszlo, is it not?
Yes.
I am Captain Renault, Prefect of Police.
Yes, what is it you want?
Merely to welcome you to Casablanca and wish you a pleasant stay. It is not often we have so distinguished a visitor.
Thank you. You'll forgive me, Captain, but the present French administration has not always been so cordial. May I present Miss Ilse Lund?
I was informed you were the most beautiful woman ever to visit Casablanca. That is a gross understatement.
Isla Manners is friendly and reserved, her voice low and soft.
you are very kind.
Won't you join us?
If you'll permit me. Oh, Emile. Yes, Captain? A bottle of your best champagne, and put it on my bill. Very well, sir.
Continue.
No, Captain, please.
It is a little game we play. They put it on my bill, I tear the bill up. It is very convenient.
Isla laughs and glances off in Sam's direction.
Captain, the boy who is playing the piano, somewhere I have seen him on.
Sam?
Yes.
He came from Paris with Rick,
Rick? Who's he?
mademoiselle. You are in Rick's, and Rick is
Oh, is what?
well, mademoiselle, he's the kind of man that, well, if I were a woman and I Were not around, I would be in love with Vic. But what a fool I am talking to a beautiful woman about another man.
Renault stops and looks off, then jumps to his feet as Stressler enters.
Excusez-moi. Mademoiselle Ilselwund, Monsieur Laszlo. May I present Major Heinrich Strasser?
Stressler bows and smiles pleasant. How do you do? This is a pleasure I have long looked forward to. Then is not the slightest rec for
Recognition.
either. Recognition for either Isla and or Lasso. Stressler waits to be asked to seat himself.
I'm sure you'll excuse me if I am not gracious, but you see, Major Strasser, I'm a Czechoslovakian. Czechoslovakian.
You are a Czechoslovakian. Now you are a subject of the German Reich.
I've never accepted that privilege, and now I'm on French soil.
I should like to discuss some matters arising from your precedes of French soil.
This is hardly the time or the place.
Then we shall state another time and another place. Then tomorrow at 10 in the perfect's office with Maddie Monset.
Captain Renault, I am under your authority. Is it your order that we come to your office?
Let us say that it is my request. That is a much more pleasant word.
Very well.
Renault and Stressler bow shortly to Lazo and deeply to Isla.
Mademoiselle.
Mesmazel. Camera pans with Renault and Stressler as they walk away.
A very clever tactical retreat, Major.
Stressler looks at Renault sharply, but sees only a non-commercial smile on Renault's face. Close shot. Lazo's table. Lazo watches after Stressor and Renault. He turns back to Isla with a slight smile.
This time, they really mean to stop me.
Oh, Victor, I'm afraid for you.
We've been in difficult places before, haven't we?
He puts his head on hers. Isla smiles back to him, but her eyes are still troubled. Over scenes comes a orchestra fanfare. First shot, dance floor. Sam stands up from his piano, holding his hands up for silence. Cornea enters. Lights go off and she starts number. Close shot, Sam. Sam plays last chorus and looks towards Isla. Off. Large close up. Isla's watching Sam. Med. Oh, close shot. Lazo's table. Lazo looks about him with apparent casualness. Finding himself unnoticed in the darkness of the room, he rises.
I must find out what Berger knows.
Be careful.
I will, don't worry.
Isla nods. Camera pans with Lazo as he crosses the room in comprehensive darkness. Med shot. Dance floor. Cornea continues her number. Sam accommodating her on the piano. Close shot. Sam. He gives a troubled look in Isla's direction. Med shot Lazo's table from Sam's angle. Isla was watching Sam. Close shot. Isla. She continues to watch Sam. At the bar, Burger is slipping a drink. Over scenes, we hear the sound of the Spanish entertainer. Lazo walks into the shot, casually takes a place on the bar next to Burger.
Monsieur Burger, the ring. Could I see the ring?
Yes, monsieur.
Continued.
A champagne cocktail, please.
As Sasha moves down the bar to make the cocktail, Lazo takes out a cigarette. Burger leans over to give him a light.
I recognize you from the news photographs, Monsieur Laszlo.
In a concentration camp, one is appointed to lose a little weight.
We read 5 times that you were killed in 5 different places.
As you see, it was true every time. Thank heaven I found you, Burger. I'm looking for a man by the name of Ugarte. He is to help me.
Monsieur Laszlo, Ugarte cannot even help himself. He is under arrest for murder. He was arrested here tonight.
I see.
But we who are still free will do all we can. We are organized, monsieur. Underground like everyone else. Tomorrow night there is a meeting, if you would come.
He stops as he sees Sasha bringing his drink to Lazo. Close up, Lazo's table. Isla.
Will you ask the piano player to come over here, please?
Very
Continued.
well, mademoiselle.
Medshot, Bar, Burger, and Lazo. Renault's coming up.
How's the jewelry business, Berger? Not so good. May I have my check, please? Too bad you weren't here earlier, Monsieur Laszlo. We had quite a bit of excitement this evening, didn't we, Berger? Oh, yes. Excuse me, gentlemen.
My bill?
No. 2 champagne cocktails, please. Yes, sir.
Angle pass Isla to Sam and waiter. Sam looks up, startled. Isla's motioned him to come over. Sam hesitates, starts to wheel the piano over. Close shot at table. As Sam wheels in the piano, on his face is that funny fear. And to tell the truth, Isla herself is not as self-possessed as she tried to appear. There is something behind this. She's some mysterious, deep for followings feelings.
Hello, Sam.
Hello, Miss
Continued.
Lisa. I never expected to see you again.
It's been a long time.
Yes, Miss Elsa. A lot of water under the bridge.
He sits down and is really ready to play.
Some of the old songs, Sam.
Yes, ma'am.
Sam begins to play a number. He is nervous, waiting for anything, but even so, when it comes, he gives a little start.
Where's Rick?
I don't know. I ain't seen him all night.
Isla gives him a tolerant stare, or a smile. Sam looks very uncomfortable.
When will he be back?
Not tonight no more. He ain't coming. He went home.
Does he always leave so early?
He never, he's got a girl up at the Blue Parrot. He goes there all the time.
Sam, you used to be a much better liar.
I'll leave him alone, Miss Ilsa. You're bad luck to him.
Oh, Sam, play it once for old time's sake.
I don't know what you mean, Miss Elsa.
Play it, Sam. Play as time goes by?
I can't remember it, Miss Elsa.
Of course he can. He doesn't want to play it. He seems even more scared.
I'll hum it for you.
He begins to play it very softly,
Sing it, Sam.
and Sam's singing.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh.
Entrance to gambling room. Rick comes swinging out. He has heard the music and he is livid.
Sam, I thought I told you never to play it.
He stopped abruptly, stopped speaking, and stopped moving. From his perspective, Sam and Isla at the piano. Closer angle. Sam and Isla. Sam looks over her shoulder, his shoulder, and Rick and at Rick, and stops playing. Isla knows why even before she turns and looks. She knows who she'll see when she turns. She turns slowly. She isn't breathing much. Close up, Rick. Isn't breathing at all. It's a wallop, a shock. For a long moment, he is just at her, looking at her, and you can tell what he is thinking. He starts moving forward. His eyes revolt on her. Camera trucks ahead of him, keeping him in close up as he moves across the cafe. Reverse angle, truck shot, moving in the direction he is going, straight for the piano. Isla's is looking directly at Rick. 2. Sam is plainly terrified. He uh he puts his stool on top of the piano and wheels the piano quickly away. Isla doesn't notice. She's still looking at Rick. Revolt and Lazo are approaching from the bar. Cut to group shot at table. Revolt moves into scene with Lazo's arm in arm.
Well, you were asking about Rick, and here he is.
Side angle, group. As Rick moves into scene,
Mademoiselle, may I present
Hello, Isla.
Hello, Rick.
she offers her hand. He takes it.
Oh, you've already met Rick, Elsa. Well then, perhaps you also...
This is Mr. Laszlo.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Continued. Isla says Laszlo in a funny way, and if she's frightened to say it, and yet would rather say it herself than have someone else. Rick measures Lazo with a look, then looks at Isla and smiles. You would say there is some mockery in the way he smiles.
One hears a great deal about Rick in Casablanca.
What about Victor Laszlo everywhere?
Won't you join us for a drink?
Oh no, Rick never.
Thanks, I will.
Precedent is being broken. Emil,
This is a most interesting cafe. I congratulate you.
And I congratulate you.
What for?
Oh, your work.
Thank you. I try.
We all try. You succeed.
I can't get over you two. She was asking about you earlier, Rick, in a way that made me extremely jealous.
I wasn't sure you were the same. Let's see. The last time we met,
It was La Belle Aurore.
how nice. You remembered. But of course, that was the day the Germans marched into Paris.
Not an easy day to forget, was it?
No.
I remember every detail. The Germans wore gray, you wore blue.
Yes. I put that dress away. When the Germans march out, I'll wear it again.
Hey, you're becoming quite human. I suppose we have to thank you for that, mademoiselle.
Elsa, I don't wish to be the one to say it, but it's late.
So it is. And we have a curfew here in Casablanca. It would never do for the chief of police to be caught drinking after hours and have to fine himself.
I hope we haven't overstayed our welcome.
Not at all.
Your check, sir. Oops.
Oh, it's my party.
Another president broken. This has been a most interesting evening. I'll call you a cab.
We'll come again.
Anytime.
Will you say goodnight to Sam for me?
I will.
And there's still nobody in the world who can play as time goes by like Sam.
He hasn't played it for a long time.
Good
A
night.
pause. Isla smiles.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Rick and Lazo nod goodnight to each other. Lazo and Isla starts to the door. Renault with him. Close shot. Rick watches them go. The revolving door is heard turning. Exit cafe. The three come out. Revolt walks through shot to the curb and is heard to blow his whistle. Lazalt lights a cigarette, speaks very casually.
A very puzzling fellow, this Rick. What sort is he?
Isla doesn't look at him. With an effect, she keeps her voice steady.
Oh, I really can't say, though I saw him quite often in Paris.
A cab is heard to draw up. Isla moves forward, out of shot. Lazo follows.
Tomorrow at 10 at the prefect's office.
We'll be there.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Camera pans up to the sign, Rick's. Dissolve to. The sign, now dark, illuminates only as a revolving beacon from the airport strikes it. Int Rick's. The customers have all gone. The house lights are out. Rick sits at a table. There is a jigger glass of bourbon on the table directly in front of him, and another glass empty on the table before an empty chair. Near at hand in the bottle from which this one drink exactly has been poured. Rick sits staring at the drink. His face is extremely expressionless. Continued. During the following scenes, the beacon continues its gyration, picking up first one, and then another, then other in its sweep around the room. Sam comes in. He stands hesitantly before Rick.
Boss? Boss?
Yes?
You going to bed, boss?
Not right now.
Sam looks at Rick closely. Rick realizes Rick is in a grim mood.
You planning on going to bed in the near future?
No.
Pause.
Yeah, even going to bed?
No.
I ain't sleeping either.
Good. Have a drink.
No, not me.
Don't have a drink.
Boss, let's just get out of here.
No, sir. I'm waiting for a lady.
Please, boss, let's go. There's nothing but trouble for you here.
She's coming back. I know she's coming back.
Boss, we'll take the car and go drive all night. We'll get drunk. We'll go fishing and stay away until she's gone.
Shut up and go home, will ya?
No, sir. I'm staying right here.
Sam sits down at the piano, starts to play softly. Suddenly, Rick bursts out.
They grab your Getty and she walks in. That's the way it goes. One in, one out. Sam.
Yeah, boss?
Sam. It's December in Casablanca. What time is it in New York?
My watch stopped.
Bet they're asleep in New York. Bet they're asleep all over in America. For all the gin joints and all the towns in all the world, she walks into mine. What's that you're playing?
A little something of my own.
Well, stop it. You know what I want to hear.
No, I don't.
You play it for her and you can play it for me.
Well, I don't think I can remember
If
it.
she can set it, I can. Play it.
Yes, boss.
Sam starts to play as time goes by. Cut to close shot. Rick. He pours a drink as Sam plays. For his expression, we know that he is thinking of the past. Monologue and flashback dissolves too. Flashback. Paris. Alternate scene number as shot and created 108. Stock shot. Dissolves too. The following are superimposed of background shots, backgrounds of stock shots. Champ Isla, alternate scene as shot and created 109 on a spring day. Rick is driving a small open car slowly along the boulevard. Close behind him is her arm linked to his. Sits Isla. Dissolves to. Excursion boat. An alternate scene on the scene night. An orchestra is playing French music by themselves at the rail of the boat. Stan, Rick, and Isla. There are transports by the night, by the music, by each other. Dissolves to Rick's Paris apartment. Isla at window fixes flowers. Rick opens champagne. Isla joins him.
Who are you really? What were you before? What did you do? What did you think?
We said no questions.
Here's looking at you, kid.
They drink. Swank Paris Cafe. Rick and Isla dancing. Isla Paris apartment. Rick and Isla on.
Frank, for your thoughts.
In America, they'd only bring a penny. It'd be about all they're worth, I guess.
I'm willing to be overcharged. Come on, tell me.
I was just wondering
Yes?
why I was so lucky. Why I should find you waiting for me to come along.
Why, there is no other man in my life.
Rick nods.
That's easy. There was. He is dead.
I'm sorry for asking. I forgot we said no questions.
Well, only one answer can take care of all our questions.
She kisses him. The street. Sturfield people are starting from their windows into the street below, staring at from their windows into the street below. The camera comes to rest on a loudspeaker wagon, around which is a cluster of people, of frightened French people. A harsh German voice is barking out the traffic news of the Nazis pushing towards Paris. Parisians are being told how to act when the coroners march in. 2 shots.
Nothing will stop them now. Wednesday, Thursday, the latest. They'll be in Paris.
Oh, Richard, they'll find out your record. It won't be safe for you here.
I'm on their blacklist already. Their roll of honor.
Dissolve to a small cafe. Sign in a monitor. Sign over the cafe. La Bella Adore. Dissolve to. Omitted. Sam. Playing up at the piano as time goes by, blending in which the background music. He looks happily over his shoulder. Pulled back to. Shot Sam at the piano. Playing as time goes by. Isla is learning on the piano, listening. Nobody else is in the room. Everyone being in the street, listening to the loudspeaker. Isla attitude as she listens in the distraught. This is identify something on her mind, and it isn't all concerned with the war. Rick, bearing a champagne bottle and glasses, comes into the scene. His manner is wry, but not the bitter wireness we have seen in Casablanca.
Henry wants us to finish this bottle and then 3 more. He says he'll water his garden with champagne before he lets the Germans drink any of it.
He hands a glass to Isla and Sam.
This sort of thing takes the sting out of being occupied, doesn't it, Mr. Vic?
You said it. Here's looking at you, kid.
A shout is heard from the people in the street. Rick and Isla looks at each other, then hurries to the window. Cut to Med shot at the window. As Rick and Isla comes into scene, the loudspeaker is blaring in Germans.
My German's a little rusty.
It's the Gestapo. They say they expect to be in Paris tomorrow. They are telling us how to act when they come marching in.
They are silent, desperate, despair.
With the whole world crumbling, we picked this time to fall in love.
Yeah, pretty bad timing. Where were you 10 years ago?
10 years ago? Let's see. Oh, yes. I was having a braces put on my teeth. Where were you?
I was looking for a job.
Pause. Isla looks at him tenderly. Rick takes her in his arms, kisses her hungrily. While they are locked in an embrace, the dull boom of cannons can be heard. Rick and Isla separate.
Was that cannon fire or just my heart pounding?
That was the new German 75. And judging by the sound, about 35 miles away. And a little closer every minute. Here, Here, drink up. We'll never finish the other three.
Medshot, Sam, coming into scene.
Them Germans be mighty soon. They'll be come looking for you. There's a price on your head.
Isla reacts to the worriedly.
I'll let them know to my apartment. They'll know where to find me.
Sam shrugs helplessly. Goes, Isla looks at Rick.
It's strange, Rick. I really know so very little about you.
I know very little about you. Just the fact that you had your teeth straightened.
But be serious, darling. You are in danger. We must leave Paris.
No, 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 we must leave.
Yes, of course. We.
The train from Marseille leaves at 5. I'll pick you up at the hotel at 4:30.
No, not at the hotel. I have things to do in the city before I leave. I'll meet you at the station, huh?
All right, at 4:45. Say, why don't we get married in Marseille? Marseille.
That's too far ahead to plan.
Yes, that's too far ahead. Well, let's see. What about the engineer? Why can't he marry us on the train?
Oh, oh, darling.
Why not? The captain on the ship can. Doesn't seem fair that... Hey, what's wrong, kid?
I love you so much, and I hate this war so much. Oh, Rick, it's a crazy world. Anything can happen. If you shouldn't get away, if something should keep us apart, wherever they put you, wherever I'll be, I want you to know that oh, kiss me as though it were the last time.
He looks into her eyes, then kisses her, as though it were the last time. Over the scene, Sam is playing As Time Goes By, Dissolve 2. There is a Bektik, fevered excitement in decked. In the face we pass. There's the last train for Paris. The cameras stop on Rick, who is glancing at his wrist or at his watch. Then up at the clock. It is 2 minutes before before train's time. Rain is pouring over his head and shoulders, but he seems not to notice. Suddenly, Sam appears with an envelope claps into his hands.
Where is she? Have you seen her?
No, Mr. Richard, I can't find her. She done checked out of the hotel, boss. But this here note came just after you left.
Rick grabs the note. He fumbles as he tries to open it. The envelope fights him. At this moment, the train pulls into the station. There is a hubbub among the crowd. Finally, Rick gets the envelope open, stares down at the letter, insert the letter, which reads,
Richard,
Rick,
I cannot go with you or ever see you again. You must not ask why. Just believe that I love you. Go, my darling, and God bless you, Ilsa.
Boss, that's the last call. Boss, do you hear me? Come on, Mr. Richard, let's get out of here. Come on, Mr. Richard.
The raindrops pour down the letter, smudging the writing. The train gives a long, mournful whistle. Dissolve 2. Special effects shot with the hourglass changing into the drink. Camera pulls back and moves up to a close up of Rick. He still stares at the drink. There is no sound of music now. Utter silence. Sam has gone home. The circle of lights passes over Rick's face and sweeps out of the scene, and only by a flicker on his face do we follow the light around the room. The next time it passes, Rick's eyes uh, are caught by the light, and his head turns, following it. Camera pans with the light. The circle reaches the door. Isla is standing in the doorway. Camera remains on her. The circle passes on, and it's the darkness. It is hard to tell that she is still there. Rick is staring at the doorway. It is probably that uh that at first he is thinking it's his imagination that's playing a trick on him. The light sweeps over him again, and his expression hardens. Isla at the door in the darkness.
Rick,
As she followed, the light passes over her. Her face is eager and pleading. Table. Rick gets half Rick gets half to his feet as she enters scene. The lights sweep by.
Rick, I have to talk to you.
Her matter is a little uncertain and a little tentative, but with a quiet demeanor beneath it.
Oh, I saved my first drink to have with you. Here.
No, no, Rick, not tonight.
She sits down in the chair before the empty glass. Her eyes are searching his face, but there is no expression on it except a cold and impassive. He sits down too and reaches for his glass and a half gesture with it towards her.
Especially tonight.
He drains his glass and reaches for the bottle, pouring himself another drink. She watches this and with a look which says that she wishes he wouldn't drink tonight.
Please don't.
Why'd you have to come back to Casablanca? Come to Casablanca. There are other places.
I wouldn't have come if I had known that you were here. Oh, believe me, Rick, that's the truth. I didn't know.
Funny about your voice. How it hasn't changed. I can still hear it. Rick, dear, I'll go with you any place. We'll get on a train together and we'll never stop.
Oh, please don't. Don't, Rick. I can understand how you feel.
Huh? You understand how I feel? How long was it we had... Honey,
I didn't count the days.
well, I did. Every one of them. Mostly I remember the last one. A wild finish. A guy standing on a station platform in the rain with a comical look on his face because his insides had been kicked out.
Can I tell you a story, Rick?
Has it got a wild finish?
I don't know the finish yet.
Well, go on. Tell it. Maybe one will come to you as you go along.
It's about a girl who had just come to Paris from her home in Oslo. At the house of some friends, she met a man about whom she'd heard her whole life, a very great and courageous man. He opened up for her a whole beautiful world of knowledge and thoughts and ideals. Everything she ever knew or ever became was because of him. And she looked up at him and worshipped him with the feeling she supposed was love.
Yes, it was very pretty. I heard a story once. In fact, I've heard a lot of stories in my time. They went along with the sound of a tiny piano in the parlor downstairs. Mister, I met a man once when I was only a kid. They'd always begin.
Isla shudders. Get up.
Huh. I guess neither one of us. Sorry. I guess neither one of our stories is very funny. Tell me, who was it that you left me for? Was it Laszlo? Or were there others in between? Or aren't you the kind that tells?
Isla's tears in her eyes. She stops in the doorway, looks back at him, and she turns and walks out. Rick, his head slumps over the table. Greatly, gently his body sags over the table. His glass tips over, spilling its contents over the cloth. Fade out. Fade in. Into Revolt's office day. Strezla is with Revolt. I, I strongly suspect that Urgret left the letters of transit with her blank. I could suggest you search the cafe immediately and thoroughly.
If Rick has the letters, he is much too smart to let us find them there.
You give him credit for too much cleverness. My impression was that he's just another blundering American.
Quite so. But we mustn't go underestimate American blundering. I was with them when they blundered into Berlin in 1910.
Stressler looks at him. As to Lazo, what we want him watched. We want him watched 24 hours a day.
It may interest you to know that at this very moment he is on his way here.
Omit. Prefix of police. People are packed around the entrance. Lazo and Isla make their way through the jam. Dissolve 2. Long shot. Shooting from the back of the desk towards the door. It is open by the native officer who ushers in Lazo and Isla. Both Revolt and Shreza in the F.G. rise. Facing the couple as they walk towards them. Revolt moves forward to offer Isla his hand.
I am delighted to see you both.
Lazo bows to both men, but offers to shake hands with neither. Isla bows to Streza and Revolt, offers her a chair.
Did you have a good night's rest?
I slept very well.
Oh, that's strange. No one is supposed to sleep well in Casablanca.
He laughs.
May we proceed with the business?
Very well. Mr. Lazar, we will not mince words. You are an escaped prisoner of the rich. So far, you have been fortunate in elapsed us. You have reached Casablanca. It is my duty to see you stay in Casablanca.
Whether or not you succeed is, of course, problematical.
Not at all. Captain Revolt's signature is necessary on every exit visa. Captain, would you think it is possible that Mr. Lazar will receive a visa?
I am afraid not. I regret, monsieur.
Well, perhaps I shall like it in Casablanca.
And Mademoiselle.
You need not be concerned about me.
Is that all you wish to tell us?
Do not be in such a hurry. You have all the time in the world. You may be in Casablanca indefinitely. Or you may leave for Lisbon tomorrow on one condition.
That's you, Danielle. So
Okay.
Victor is Laszlo's first name.
Thank you. And that is?
You know the leader of the underground movement in Paris, in Amsterdam, in Brazil, in Oslo, in Bergen, in Athens.
Even in Berlin?
Yes, even in Berlin. If you will furnish me with their names and their exact whereabouts, you will have your visa in the morning.
And the honor of having served the Third Reich.
I was in a German concentration camp for a year. That is honor enough for a lifetime.
You will give us the names?
If I didn't give them to you in the concentration camp, we had more persuasive methods at your disposal. I certainly won't give them to you now. And what if you track down these men and kill them? What if you murdered all of us? From every corner of Europe, hundreds of thousands would rise up to take our places. Even Nazis cannot kill that fast.
Mr. Lizardo, you have a reputation for equipment, which I can now understand. But in one respect, you are mistaken. You said the enemies of the Reach could all be replaced. But there is one explanation. No one could take your place. In the event anything unfortunate should occur to you while you were trying to escape.
You won't dare to interfere with me here. This is still unoccupied France. Any violation of neutrality will reflect on Captain Renault.
Monsieur, insofar as it is in my power.
Thank you.
By the way, last night you evinced some interest in Signor Ugarte.
Yes.
I believe you have a message for him?
Nothing important, but may I speak to him now?
You will find the conversation trifling, one-sided. Senor Ursha is dead. Lazo and Isla look at each other.
Oh,
I am making out the report now. We haven't quite decided yet whether he committed suicide or died trying to escape.
You're quite finished with us?
For the time being.
Good day.
As Isla and Lazo leave, the young officer comes in when the door has closed on Isla and Lazo.
Undoubtedly, their next step will be to the black market. Excuse me, Captain. Oh, is that you? Sorry.
Oh, yes, it is, but all right. Excuse me, Captain. Another visa problem has come up.
Aha, show her in.
Yes, Monsieur.
Dissolve
we
two.
Take
Oh,
a
sorry.
pause. That's okay. As we're halfway through our script, so we'll take a brief intermission. So good job so far, y'all. I'm gonna pause the recording too. Here we go. All right. I'm not sure I can pause the YouTube, but we'll see.
no, it's still going.
Yep,
And
it might still be going.
Yeah.
But we can pause the recording at least. So we don't have all that extra time. So my clock says it is 13 after the hour, whatever hour it may be where you are at.
Mhm.
So 10 minutes or so, so 23 after.
Okay.
Will that
Okay.
work for you all?
Sounds
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
good.
Okay. Perfect.
Jackson, would you want to pick up two more small parts in the second half? Tourist and cafe.
Sure. What's their name? Sorry.
Tourist. He's gonna be
Yeah.
pickpocketed by the
Oh,
European, and
okay.
then you can see one line in the cafe somewhere. Let's see, where is that on?
Mm-hmm.
It is on page 106. So
Okay.
first comes in on page 92.
And then what's the other one? Sorry.
Yeah, it says cafe. It just means that like the whole thing. I think there's a line for cafe. There might,
Okay. Okay.
there
Okay.
might be
Okay.
a crowd scene. So
Yeah. I'm assuming is Englishman done with then? I'm assuming
what's that?
Englishman's done with. He was way at the
Yeah,
start.
those ones. We'll double check here. So let's see.
Sorry, I just want to cross
You're
these off
fine.
my list.
Yeah. So the ones you have to worry about right now are Ferrari, Carl, and customer and orderly. So yeah.
So okay, so Englishman's
And
gone.
then the tourist and the cafe. Let's see if I see anything else I have on paper for you.
Is there no more Toll? Is Toll gone? He doesn't come back?
Tonelli, yeah.
Okay,
So
perfect.
yeah, customer and orderly are the only ones to worry about, plus the two I just gave you.
Perfect. I this has made me want to learn how to actually do accents. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a good German accent, that's for sure.
Oh, mine is all over Europe at the moment. So
Yeah.
there's a little Russian thing in there, a little French, probably some Scottish. It's just all over the board. So
I played a German lady in a play, so I know how to be a German lady. But when there's so many other accents you're doing at the same time,
Yeah.
it's like Kat says, they kind of all mush
go
together.
all over the place.
Yeah. I think
It's-
both the villains have similar names or similar accents for me. I like
Yes.
Ferrari a lot more right now, though. Even though he only had that small part, he was. I loved it.
He'll have a big scene coming up next.
Oh, really?
So he's got 86 lines coming up next.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah,
Let's go.
he owns that other cafe, and
Yeah.
the are two refugees here, Victor Laszlo and
Mm-hmm.
Vicky's part, Ilsa. They're gonna try
Ilsa.
and buy letters of permits to get out of Casablanca from him.
I also really like doing the actions and the other thing.
Actions and descriptions.
Like I didn't know like some of the words, but I had so much fun doing that one.
Good.
I was just like, she leans over. Like it's so fun. It's just I like
It
being
is.
that.
It's like reading an audio book, and
Yeah.
you get to be the narrator for all of those things. It's reading a bedtime story to your kids too,
Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, my breath, because certain parts get really long, and I was like, oh, or the words, I'm like, what is that supposed to say?
Yes, and there are some unfamiliar words, I think, and especially as
Yes.
it's names and places.
It's something that sets us apart from other groups that read
Yeah.
scripts. They don't do the action and description, and it makes it more
It's so cool.
full. Yeah.
I think it helped me understand the plot points a lot more for somebody who hasn't watched the movie.
Right.
But
I think I might resume sharing here too for those that are on our YouTube channel.
yes.
I hope we haven't lost our other readers.
Yes.
Oh no.
Okay. Recording, that's what that's going
I love hearing all the other people, everyone do their accents too. It's like, oh, it's so fun listening to that how they play their character.
Yeah, it is part of the joy.
Didn't need to do that. Okay.
Yeah. And I like the correlation between you and Aubrey. You two are like, oh,
Yeah, that's working out really well. Yeah.
I really like that. I was like, oh, my favorite two, like that scene, that whole big scene you guys had. Oh, Loved it. That was my favorite so far.
Now her cat might be holding her hostage, not letting her come back. No, Mom. Oh, there she is.
No, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I got a call just as we got on there, and I was like, I have to go use the restroom. But I was talking. I'm like, I have to go use the restroom. I'm like, plus I have to get back to the script. It was one of my it was like a director friend. So like, so of course I took his call. Oh,
I blamed your cat. I said,
I heard
Aubrey's
that just.
cat.
Oh my God.
She's keeping her hostage.
He is. He totally is. Completely, utterly keeping me hostage. How dare.
Well, if you heard crashing noises in my background, that was my cat knocking things off the counter.
Guys, do we know how long this is gonna be? Because I think I might have to leave for the second half, if that's all right.
Let's just take a look where you're at. Well, I think so we're only about
I'm zoning out. I'm
probably
tired.
halfway through the script. I know it's a really long one.
It's a very
But
long.
this was really fun and awesome. Like I also really enjoyed it. She has a great accent for it. But yeah, I do have things I need to do. So if this is gonna go into another hour, I'm not sure I can stay for that long.
Yeah, I may have to go too. I was not expecting it to be. I was not expecting it already to be 8 o'clock. I was like, holy crap, this is already after 8 o'clock.
It is. And and if we need to, we can, since we are halfway through the script, we can pause it and pick it up in 2 weeks. We have another show on next Tuesday, but if you're around in 2 weeks, we can certainly
Yeah, that would be great.
then
That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
would that
I'd be willing to do that
available?
for sure. Yeah.
I know
Now
it
that
is
I know-
pretty late.
Now that I know it starts at 7 my time, I can do that now.
Okay. Well, then we will
And then-
pause it here and
Then
And
we
then-
don't lose anybody, right?
we don't lose anyone. Yes. And we, if we need to, we might pick up some other folks too, because I know
Yeah.
certain other parts we can parcel out so we're not also overloaded. But
I
Wouldn't
can
that
work
be
on the
nice?
German accent.
there you go. You can work on your German accent. But
If you have any German friends, please
Yeah.
invite them.
Jackson, I was
Oh.
feeling so bad for you. Like there were words you're like trying to like get out, and you were having such a difficulty with them, and I'm just like, oh.
yeah, well, it
So-
doesn't help either. The script is written in really poor to read typeface either.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
typeface is
those
hard.
are-
Like the H's look a lot like B's.
Oh,
so
the
I
B.
so
Yeah, I
totally
got that
understand
one messed up a lot. And then also sometimes the lettering was over top of other lettering, at least in
Ah,
the action. So I was like looking at this thing so close.
And this was the
Ugh.
cleanest copy I could find. There were worse copies. I had to look online a long time to find this copy because the other one's the typeface is, the same Courier font, but it
Oh
was like
my.
photocopied of a photocopy of a photocopy, and it was like, oh my gosh, it's so blurry. So yeah,
the
this
script is
cleanest
so
one
good
I've
though. The
found.
script is such a master class in how to write scripts. It's so
Oh.
good.
I really enjoy it right now.
And
Thank you so
Aubrey-
much, by the way.
We need to finish our romance. We can't
I
leave it
know,
hanging.
we can't leave it like it is.
I
Can't leave it like it is. I don't know. I'm trying to do that mid-Atlantic.
Yeah,
love it.
Like where it like because that's
I-
what Bogart has
Yeah.
in the play. So I don't know if I'm pulling it off.
Oh, it's coming
Oh.
across quite well.
I love it.
Yeah, I like your accent, and I hope I'm coming across as Scandinavian. And I actually am Scandinavian, but it's the hardest accent for me to do.
It's a hard accent. It's not easy at all. Like the German one, I know the German is quite hard, and French can be hard. And but Scandinavian, I would not know how to do it.
Well, and this script has so many accents in it. I mean, Sasha's Russian, Renault is French, Sam
Isn't
has
Sam? Yeah, he's British, isn't he?
Sam, he's African American.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
was
is.
wrong.
Yeah.
Don't have that sort of I don't know what's that word I'm looking for, but sort of a southern sort of accent, Southern American. But yeah, it's all over, and so mine's all over the board. I can't keep one straight.
Yeah, French
It's all over
American.
the
You do
board.
it very well though. You do Renault very
It's
well.
fun. It is fun.
Yeah, no. I did not want to take Renan away from you. I loved you doing it.
Oh, I was having fun with him. So
I know. I loved it. I was like,
Did
when you're like, do you want to take over for him? And I'm like, nope, you are doing amazing. Keep it.
did we lose
Yeah. Danielle,
Danielle?
you were great as well. I was really
Yeah.
enjoying your Laszlo. I don't know.
Yes,
You
it
might have
was so
left.
much fun. I don't
Yeah,
know
it's a
if they're still
good
here.
cast. Good casting. It's fun. And I do like your Strasse.
no, I'll
Very good.
say I'll stop her. We don't need to share the script there. There we go. That's better.
What's so
Um,
dark in here?
oh, it
Oh,
is.
someone got so dark.
Yeah, it's 9:30 here, so
Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
sense. We should definitely call it for the night. But I really enjoyed it. Thank you for letting me play Rick. I was really enjoying playing Rick. He's
Oh, it
so
was
much fun.
actually so much fun listening to you.
Oh,
So,
it's so much.
all right.
so just in case, Danielle, did she hear that we're going to do this, that finish it in 2 weeks?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just.
Oh, you are. Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't want you to miss out on the fact that we are going to finish it in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. Like,
And I
well, yeah.
think
We'll
I might
see.
have someone else interested in joining us too. So we'll see.
What's next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday we're doing. That's a great question. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
what is
asking,
that?
Jackson. So next Tuesday we are reading the pilot episode of the television series Jack Ryan.
Yes.
Oh,
CIA
that's
analyst
fun.
turned field agent. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's and it's a television episode, so it'll be shorter, unless I don't know if it's a 2-hour pilot or a 1-hour pilot. I haven't actually looked at the script yet, but it should be
Right.
shorter. And
That could make a
regardless.
difference.
Yeah, it does. It can make a difference for sure.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so this cast list for that one will be coming out hopefully on Saturday or Sunday. So if you want to sign up for that one, go ahead and mark
Okay.
yourself as going on the Facebook site, and we'll get you cast for that if you like.
Yes,
We have
I'll
a whole
think about
reading
it.
schedule currently on our Facebook site. I don't know if I've got it posted on a regular Table Read Tuesday public page or not. I should if we don't have it there yet. But we have the whole reading schedule for the rest of the year, minus any things like this where we have to add in an extra reading or something. So
Oh,
it's every
there's some really fun shows coming up this season.
Mhm.
I'm excited. Things
I'll
like
have to look at it.
Gremlins in December.
Ooh,
Oh,
fun.
that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I love Gremlins.
Post that too. I'll add it up. So let me see if I can find it real quick. So for our folks out there in YouTube land, and we'll see if I can actually find our schedule real quick. And
Yeah, my cat.
and if you need to leave, that's fine. I will just.
Yeah, I should probably get going. I need to get to the bank and stuff.
All right. Well, we'll
It
see
might
you
be too late
back
to
in
get there
2
even now.
weeks.
All right. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Well, thank you for joining
Awesome.
us. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And let's see, here's our schedule. So let me post it up get it on my screen, and then I'll share the screen here. It's really small. Let's see, I got to navigate too many things. Share screen. Let's see. Yeah, it's that one there. And let me actually open it so we can. There should be a link in here somewhere there. Try that. Is that large
Oh,
enough?
you guys did the Lego movie? That's cool.
We did the Lego movie. Yes, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then so here we are at Casablanca.
Oh my gosh.
Vikings coming up.
Avengers?
Avengers, that's another
Oh.
film. Let's move on.
Oh, I am like, oh no, I need to start coming to this.
And the never-ending story in
Oh
July.
my gosh, yeah. Or Goonies.
Yeah, Goonies.
Yes.
I'm
And
so
then-
excited for Goonies.
Forrest Gump. I love that movie.
Yeah.
We decided to go with, popular and
Yeah.
fun films. Sometimes we read a lot of new ones, but this year we decided to go with tried and true favorites.
Yeah, no, I'm
Look
so
at
excited.
October.
October, we've got vampires, zombies, and Dracula.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
So that'll be a reading. We'll have
Oh.
a couple Tuesdays we're not reading because you were out of town or it's a holiday
Yeah.
or something. But Otherwise, first, third, and fifth Tuesdays. I'm excited for Vikings. That should be quite bloody.
Yes. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yep. All right. Well, I'm gonna stop the share there, and we'll go ahead and say goodnight. So I gotta